Hello, gentle viewers. This is Zap Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. Last season wasn't great. Last season definitely was probably one of our worst. Um, we were actually pretty good at pitching, although we didn't get a ton of WAR out of it because FIP was unkind to us. But our offense was mostly subpar. So that's going to be our big task this offseason, is fixing the offense. Inside World 422 happened to sneak in a comment before I published his second video, saying, what if Marrero replaces Maini? And I think that's a very high probability event. Very high probability. So we will sort all that out here in this episode. We also lack a lot of upper level pitching. We have several pitchers who are pretty good, but we don't have a true ace at this point. We do have Nick Ambrosio, though, who's most definitely coming back. So this is another thing we have to look forward to. So we need to fix the offense, essentially. We need more power, I think. We could use some more batting eye. Right now, this offense is highly dependent on Danny Rios being very, very strong. And while he usually is, he isn't always. This is also an interesting off-season for another reason, which is, quite namely, Reds are preparing for life after Barry and Rios, both of whom could be gone as soon as the following off-season. That's not likely to happen, especially Herb Barry. I think there's a very high probability we try to keep him around, but it is a consideration. It is very much a consideration. That we have to have a plan in place to replace both Barry and Danny Rios. Now, the good news is we have a load of middle infield options. We do not lack for people to replace Barry. Marco Ramirez. I feel like Mark Ramirez is the kind of guy that I should be trading. Because, yes, he can play second base all right. Maybe we don't trade anybody until we figure out who's going to do what. Carlos Geronimo is a really good one. Marrero, obviously, is going to be playing second or third here very shortly. Probably not second. No, because we're not going to keep Tom Heavedon, I don't think. He was fine. Maybe Heavedon is okay. I don't know. But yes, the offense has to get better. We have to be a lot more consistent. And thankfully, Bobby Pena broke out in a completely unexpected way. We cannot count on that. Because he strikes out as much as he does, 38% of the time, it is really, really silly to believe that every season he's going to hit 270. And that's where a lot of his value comes from. Like, if he does hit for a fairly high average when he doesn't strike out, he's an amazing player. But that shouldn't be something we should take for granted. And so, while Pena is good now, we can't count him on being good forever. Brian Bittner's really got to get the job done this season. I need a reliable outfielder besides Chris Hernandez. Oh, Chris Hernandez's decline these last 2 years has been really frustrating. This is the problem when you coach somebody, right? When you assume that someone is going to do well because they've done well in the past, all it takes is a slight alteration, and then they become borderline unplayable. It's not the worst contract you've ever had. I think that's always going to be Maini's contract, but this is still not great. One moment. I'm exceptionally sneezy this morning, so if I don't mute myself in time, you'll have to forgive me, please. I've got a lot of really high-level prospects that need to be added to the 40-man, so this is going to be a semi-important offseason in making room for people. Ambrose Chilo is also a legitimate choice to be a shortstop in the future. Look at his fucking season. an A-ball. Casually hits over 400. I mean, he shouldn't be an A-ball anyway because he's 22 years old already, but, you know, stuff happens. Okay, Malone and Bowen both get waived, for sure. I suppose I could wait to see if I'm going to remove anybody for other reasons, but I don't want to lose these guys. And then the rest of you are more or less not interesting to me. Does anybody want Edwin Lucio? Even one person? Is there a single solitary soul that's like, fuck yeah, Edwin Lucio? No, they're not. Okay, well, that's not unexpected. Alright, let's get coaching done first. And this is a big offseason because we're replacing both our pitching and our hitting coaches. We talked about this a little bit at the end of last episode. We want somebody, ideally, that's either personable or temperamental. And both my coaches here fill that void. So DePaula is an outstanding pitching coach. He's really, really good. He gets along reasonably well with my current pitchers. Not going to overthink it. Let's promote him. Cameron Seitzer is a really good coach. Really quite good. He gets along pretty good with my players, although I'm concerned that he doesn't get along well with like Edwin Hernandez, but I think this is fine. I think promoting him makes a lot of sense, so we're going to do that. So here's our coaching staff settled for now. Because everyone is personable, I expect to see that we have a gigantic ton of cohesion this season once they get some experience. I could use better bench coaches, actually. That's something I think we're going to want to pursue. Just to get better coaches, not necessarily to improve the personality fit. Alright. Carlos Garcia has done a pretty good job as our pitching coach. Maybe he's actually not doing that good. Like, look how poor he has been the past 3 seasons. Then again, we're just kind of sucking from top to bottom, so maybe he's not the problem. Mr. DeGroo's is a really good hitter. A really good coach. I think I just promote them both just for the sake of I don't have a better obvious choice here, and I want to get some upward momentum and see what happens there. Like, the reason Double A might have suffered is because Double doesn't have very good pitchers in it, and I think that's the correct answer here, right? Double is actually pretty terrible for us, so that's something we're going to potentially look into going forward, is improving the quality of our minor league system. I think that's a big ask, but I think it's an important one. Kyle Godfrey is a pretty damn good pitching coach. I'm not going to lie. Did have a bit of a bad season last year after being promoted, so worth monitoring. I think Rafael Perez is going to get the promotion, mostly because he has been here for so long that I want him to get a chance to have a more prominent role at the club. So Rafael Perez is going to get promoted. Hitting coach-wise, Brian Calmer's pretty good, actually. Doug Reinhardt would also be acceptable. I want to get a younger coach promoted to see if he can stick to the schedule, so I'm going to promote him to Double A. Preston Claiborne is an okay pitching coach. Tyson Sang is much worse, so I think we'll promote Mr. Claiborne here. Plus, he's been a pitching coach in rookie ball for quite a while now, after coming out of AAA, so maybe that's the reason. Jean Selmo is pretty good, but Connor Lewis is even better, and I want to promote Connor Lewis instead. Alright, now we need to get a new pitching coach. I mean, quite obviously, AJ Alexi is the choice here. He would be literally a perfect coach, I think, in a lot of ways. So we're gonna try it, but we have to be prepared for the very high probability they just tell us to go fuck ourselves. Danny Berg, come on and hang out. Coaching is sorted. Now let's look at player development. A lot of people here need work, but I want to make sure it's the people. Oops. I wanted to click this tab here. Corey Griswold. Your control's already kind of okay. I could work on movement, actually. Maybe movement is the better choice here. Let's try it. Mr. Griswold, work on your pitch movement, please. Ray Hughes, work on your control. Brian Bittner, can you some fucking day be a productive hitter? Just one time. I mean, I guess he was pretty good in the microscopic amount of playing time he got last year, but for Bittner to be a great player, he's got to be driving the ball with authority. So I think we're going to have him work on his gap power. Let's see if that moves the needle for us here. Everyone else here is mostly okay. Let's now look at Alex Marrero here. How can I best prepare him to be ready for the major leagues? I'd love to get him to work on contact. I think contact is the one thing that would benefit him the most. If he can start putting the ball in play, letting his power and eye take over, I think we got ourselves a pretty solid third baseman. But it's also going to be very difficult. Right? It's going to be very, very difficult, but I think we're going to try it. The dividends are pretty high. If he does even get 5 more points of contact, it makes him a much more effective and much more useful player to me. Alright. Speaking of heirs to her Barry, I think working on Carlos Geronimo this season is actually pretty smart. Let's have him work on his defense. I want him to become a better shortstop. I think that's going to make him a much more useful player in general. One thing I'd probably do too much of, I'd probably invest too much time training up like 17 and 18-year-olds. The fact is they're going to get better without my help. The development lab is more to... It's to take players that have skills that you want to build upon. Or players that are a bit more polished, like Edwin Peralta here. I feel like you're actually walking and striking out at a reasonable clip here. I need to get you out of A-ball, it's true. You've been mired in the rookie leagues for too long. But you're also only 20 years old, so it's not like it's the worst signal for you to get a little bit more time in A-ball. Let's improve your two-strike approach. I know normally I just go hard discipline, but his discipline's already kind of a... No, it's discipline. I can't in good conscience say that that's my choice. Whenever there's discipline to be improved upon, unless this one's already pretty strong, I'd like to improve discipline. It just has so many payoffs, so, yeah. Marco Ramirez. Do I want to try to teach you third base? Probably not. Probably you're fine. Probably. Ambrose Chilo is a legitimate choice as a shortstop. Work on your discipline, and also let's get Carlos... Oh, no, Catrano's our working on. Let's get Marco Ramirez to improve his discipline, too. Alright. Now we talk arbitration stuff, and I think we've got some big decisions to make here. Alright. I am not opposed to bringing back Kenny Fisher for the right price. That's not the right price. It just isn't, sorry. I wonder if Mr. DiNardo and Mr. Conway here... Oh, you want an actual Major League extension? That's not going to happen. All right. Um, Edwin Lucio is gone. I think Armando Beltran is also gone too. I think I keep fooling myself that this is going to be the year, but he can't even play center field anymore. And I think that means he departs. I understand that's going to cost us a little bit of leadership because he's a captain, but I think we have other captains too, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, we are replete with captains, so this is all fine. All right, so those two guys are departing. Kevin Meredith stays if I don't have people waiting for opportunities, and I really don't at the moment. Let's get Ambrosio promoted before I forget. Yeah, I feel like Kevin Meredith is a useful pitcher to have, especially when I don't have a ton of high value relievers in the minor leagues. Other than Steve Clark, I guess. I mean, I can always add a veteran reliever, right? Like, this isn't the Rocky series. I have full flexibility to promote people, move them around as I like. But I think it's probably smart to bring him back for a year. Question mark. We'll try it. It's such a small sum of money, and it's not like he's proven to be useless or anything, that this is an acceptable decision to bring him back for a year. What happened to Chance Livingston? This is a guy who'd been consistently a pretty good reliever for us for 2 seasons in a row. So what changed? The walks spiked. Like the difference, literally the difference between 42 and 43, besides FIP doing him a bit dirty. He allowed slightly more hits, but it's mostly, I think, the walk rate, which is troubling. If he's starting to walk people at this stage in his career, that makes him challenging to keep around. That said, he wants a fairly modest raise, and given his past performance, I think it is money well spent. I could try to buy super low here and try to lock him up for, say, 4 or 5 years, with the understanding that even in a terrible situation, he's still going to be pretty decent. But I think we let him earn it. I think I am fully cured of the Matt Keener disease. I think he just has nothing to offer us. And he thinks he wants a raise and he just doesn't deserve it. Like that's the real issue here, right? He doesn't deserve a raise. He's been thoroughly mediocre since we've acquired him. And while thoroughly mediocre isn't useless, the fact is, if you're only going to be a lefty kill, you have to be amazing at killing lefties, which he is not. So Mr. Keener, I think we're just going to rebuild the bullpen this episode. I think that's what's happening here. Adam Wiley, easy pick. Easy extension. Not a second's hesitation. The big question this episode is actually going to be Andrew Pekar, but we'll get to him here in a second. Eduardo Reyes is a pretty good pitcher. He's still got lots of room to grow. I think that is more than worthy of a very modest raise. Very modest raise. Very well earned. Alex Garcia, guys, I don't know. This is a guy who 2 seasons ago was one of the best pitchers in the league, and now he's just getting injured. For $7 million, I don't know how I feel about. So here's the other thing to keep in mind, right? Like, it's going to take him a while to recover. When he comes back, he may not be very good. But it's not like I have a ton of pitching prospects ready to go. I have a lot of pitchers that are adjacent to him. But most of my good pitching prospects are too low in the minors to be making the team this season. Like high A's were like A ball and high A and rookie league are where it's at. All this is to say, I think we probably end up keeping Garcia. I'll do Ambrosio first because it's obvious to me. Had he been healthy the whole season, I think we would have gotten a pretty great year out of him, and so keeping Ambrosio makes sense to me. What about Picar? My problem with Picar is he's going to be a ticking time bomb every season. And here is the time bomb. He has walked more hitters than I would like, but he's been able to strike out enough of them that it offsets the walks. That will not always hold true. When he's on, he's actually quite good. I think we've done a great job letting him pitch. He's very good at avoiding damage. I think Picar's somebody that we keep for now. But his demands will probably keep going up. And there definitely becomes a point in which I'm not prepared to pay him $10+ million. I think a one more year bet is reasonable. He does want to get a longer contract. And it's not an especially pricey contract either. But I just got through telling you all the reasons that I think he'll age poorly. This is the contract I'm after. Buy an RB year, and then let me choose each year whether you stay in free agency. This is the contract that I want. I want a short-term contract with a guy that I don't know whether he's going to be any good. I shall buy... I'm going to do the same for you. I'm going to give you a 3-year contract. With 2 team options. And I'll give you $2 million in the second year. Okay. The reason I'm doing this, by the way, is because my pitching is so deep in the minors. I don't know when I'm going to get reinforcements, so I think it makes sense to give ourselves a little bit of grace and give ourselves a little bit of free agent protection. I'm going to give guys like some of my higher potential guys every chance to succeed. All right. We're going to wait until free agency happens and then see who we're moving around before I decide who to take off the roster here. Yeah. Losing Beltran isn't that important to me. I probably should have gotten rid of him a long time ago. I think I let myself get fooled last season because he had a really good year offensively and then didn't replicate it. So I kept Beltran too long. That's on me. I shouldn't have done that. I tend to keep players too long. It's a bit of a curse for me. Catcher is a position I'm willing to invest in if the right opportunity arose. I think there's a lot of room for us to make a lot of improvements to this team. I do want to keep the financial flexibility to keep investing heavily into player development, though, and in developing and investing into scouting. I wish you'd give me more money. I would feel much better if I had more money. And the problem is we're quickly reaching the point where the expensive players are going to be gone. It's really the 3 of you taking up most of the salary. And of the 3 of you, the only 3 that are guaranteed to be here in 2040, don't want to guarantee to be here in 2045, is Edwin Hernandez. And I guess Chris Hernandez, too. The Hernandezes, in other words. I'm not going to worry about this for right now, but this is something I'm going to monitor over the course of the season. It is still really shitty that I have such a small budget given the size of my market. I guess the Cubs do make a lot more money than me. Damn, the Cubs are really fucking good. Like, the Cubs have a fantastic budget. Why the hell aren't you spending it? Can I jump to the Cubs one time? Yeah. So I need to invest intelligently. Is the main takeaway. Because I'd love to put more money into development. But I don't want to do that if it means that the team can't be as competitive as I would like. We could really use a reset. Not a gigantic reset, but we don't have. I have a ton of young players right now. Um, and so that is causing us problems. I have some decent young position players in the minors, especially in the middle infield, but I don't have a lot in the way of outfielders. I mean, Josh Cox is okay. Josh Cox is very okay. Ricardo Vasquez probably wins another Gold Glove, though, which is the problem, but. Yeah, if you build on your gap power and start hitting doubles and triples at a pretty high rate, I think you got a good chance to be an important piece to our team's success, Mr. Cox here. Lucio and Ray can both go away. Let's see what I did there. Um, Unironically, Modafi Alcala gets added to the roster right now simply because I need relievers, and he's not a terrible one. Tanner Lee and Jimmy Bridges are people that I want to try to make room for. If I can't, Jimmy Bridges actually, I think I trade. I think your control is pretty low, and somebody might look at you and go, "Holy shit, what a lad! What a unit, absolute or otherwise." I want to rebuild this bullpen, and Jimmy Bridges isn't the guy to do it with. I could bring Kyoji Doi back, which would be funny. But I think this is just a hard no from me on all of this, so whatever. Whatevs. I have too many players in the minor leagues. Like, holy shit, guys. Alright, new rule. If you're a 20 or lower, you're getting cut. Or if you're 25 or lower, you're getting cut. This minor league system is redonkulous. Alright, ready? Sort by potential. If your potential is less than 30, you get cut. Actually, just make this easier, right? Add filter is less than 30. Alright. Actually, not as many as I thought there would be, but still enough to make some cuts. And clean up the minors a little bit. What has that done? That has cut basically nobody. Alright. Well, fine. Alright, whatever. I did something, okay? This financial complex is actually pretty terrible. But I'm not going to worry about it for the moment. We're going to maintain a little bit of time. I'm just going to release Mark Ward. I would love to keep him, actually. But he wants $8 million, and I just don't think that's a smart investment for... or is it a smart... Is it an incredibly smart investment? Maybe it is a smart investment, right? Like, he's been a really good pitcher when he's been healthy. And for lefty, he deals with righties pretty effectively. He's actually a little bit better against righties than lefties, which is kind of funny. I don't like paying him $8 million, but maybe it's the right decision. Maybe it's correct. Can I get a 3-year deal with 2-team options, please? No, he doesn't want any team options. What about just 2 years? He wants to be guaranteed the closer's role. And that's not something I'm prepared to do. I'm not going to make you the closer. So I think we just release Mark Ward uh, and free him from his prison, I guess. I've got to take 42 people off the 40 man anyway. Let's go ahead and release Kuhner. I'm not demoting him, I'm releasing him. And who's the other guy? Oh, Armando Beltran. We're going to release him too. We'll do that. Make some room. Are you going to bitch about the leadership stuff even though we have 2 other captains? How about the players should shut the fuck up, okay? I've only got so much money, guys. Unbelievable how whiny people can be. Alright. Oh no, New York has claimed Brian Malone. What am I going to do? Enjoy him. I don't think he's very good. You've been offered additional money. Okay, fine. Hooray for Chris McNabb, I guess. He's not terrible. He's reasonably good. Alexi takes a contract. The Yankees really wanted Brian Malone. Fine. I mean, maybe I could have tried to trade him, I suppose. Maybe that was a thing I could have done. And Brozo stays. Fans are pumped. Picar, Wiley. You got more money from someone else. What if we do 175,000? The fans love them some Nick Ambrosio. That's good to know. How much fucking leadership does one damn team need, honestly? Like, I swear to God, the way players get weird about this stuff, it's like you have 2 other captains. You don't need like 12 captains. What is this, the Yankees? It wasn't the Yankees. Who was it? Was it the Jets that had like 7 or 8 team captains and yet they were awful? Maybe the Sabres? It was a team in New York. I remember that. Well, I guess New Jersey if we're talking about the Jets. Alright. People are getting contracts. That's great. Patrick Bowen easily slid through. That doesn't surprise me. And Danny Berg finally signs, thankfully. Hooray for everyone. Hoorays all around. Silver Slugger for Herberry. Okay, fine. I'm a little surprised that you didn't get a gold glove again, Vasquez. That vexes me. I'm terribly vexed. Who did you dare select as the gold glove? Heriberto Langley? He was good, I guess. Fine. If that's what you want to do. You're frustrated? Okay. I'm going to cancel the program. No, maybe he will get better-ish. I don't know. This is a terrible deal. Like, I know that Andrew Picard is not, like, super double, triple ace material. This is a bad deal. This is very bad. You should feel bad for offering it. I know that people are going to say, oh, you need a third baseman. Let me dump my shitty third baseman off on you. But that's not going to work for me, dog. All right. Most of what I want to invest in this all season is I want to invest in useful veterans to build a bridge to the next outstanding White Sox team. So, three things are going to be my focus in this free agent class. I need a new catcher. I love a couple three catchers, but for right now, I need a new catcher. I mean, I guess all my catchers are in A-ball, which is funny. I want to try to add on more offense. If I'm gonna add offense, where am I gonna add it? I think we'll just be open-minded and see what might be possible. Um, like, is this Chris Hernandez just, like, is he just gonna keep sucking from here on out, or does he have a chance to get back to where he was? So an outfielder definitely makes sense. Infield, we're fine. I'm not going to touch an infielder. So we're going to try to get an outfielder. We're going to try to get a catcher. And we're definitely going to get some bullpen help. Probably. So we will see what happens here. But I think that's my blueprint for this all season. Because the bullpen was actually very, very shaky last season. Our defense also needed help. Yeah, Herberry's fine at shortstop. Tom Heavenden is okay. I feel like keeping Tom Heavenden at this point is just silly. Like, my problem right now is that I have too many infield prospects, and so my goal is to block them with a slightly older infield prospect. That doesn't seem very smart to me. So I think we're gonna go ahead and trade Heavenden now. Although we're deprived of another captain, so I'm basically trapped? Question mark. Do we have any captains in the minor leagues? I wonder. Let me remove the filter. Let me do... Why does my... Oh, do this default view. This default view doesn't have it either. This one doesn't have the... edit view. No, that's not it. Customize. Oh, is that in my potential category? It might be in one of my potential ones. Yeah, here we go. A lot of unknowns, cool. Then we have some normals, gross. I've got three captains. Alex Madrid is one of them. So I think we could just promote Madrid and not lose too much in the captaincy. I also still have one other captain, so I think... I just don't think Cupidon serves a purpose right now. I think... Because he's not a utility guy, because he can't play shortstop. Plus I have Justin Rice, who is better than he is at the being a captain thing. So I think trading Heavenden is the correct choice here. Maybe his name was actually Jividen. I just been pronouncing it wrong the whole time. I didn't mean to check regulars. I just wanted to look at prospects, to be honest with you. I do want some more relief talent, but I'm not convinced Aquino is a reliever, but I think he's okay. Alright, let's do some real talk here. Let's get a prospect package. If I get a green and something else, I'm pretty open to it. Alright. Victor Camacho is reasonably good. He's not great, but he's reasonably good. Justin Andrews is fine, but not amazing. I mean, David Weatherly is acceptable, but he's not necessarily thrilling. Steve Walker is fine. And Cesar Cortez is fine. This is a whole bunch of fine, is what that one is. Floyd Carnosi is actually a really good reliever as a prospect. I think this is something I could get behind. Dante Monaco is okay. And I do need more catchers in this system. I think this is an okay deal. This is a fine deal. Yeah, we're gonna take it. I think this is good. I'm sorry you guys are bummed, but quite literally, shut the fuck up. Okay? It's not like being captain is all that matters in life. So any moment you want to stop complaining about shit would be great. Um I'm gonna try to trade Jimmy Bridges again. I just don't believe in him at all. And if nobody wants to trade for him, maybe thinks nobody will take him, and so I can just ignore that. Tanner Lee, I feel like I have to keep. And what about Jonathan Miranda here? Miranda's okay. I want to leave room for free agents, so I'm not going to add anybody else at this very second, but... what do we got? What do we have here? No, we don't have to go non-MLB if we don't want to. I could Ishmael Galindo completely vaporize all of my offensive payroll flexibility. No, thank you. I did say I wanted to upgrade the bullpen, and Danny most definitely represents an upgrade. He's also very reasonably priced, which leads me to believe this is probably a safe bet. Can you get a couple of team options in here, actually? And not make you the closer? No, you want to be a closer. Okay. I'm not opposed to this deal. I'm not even opposed to making him the closer. So I might come back to it. Is it former White Sox Jay Horner? It is former White Sox Jay Horner, who's only wanting 4.8 million. I think bringing him back is actually kind of smart. I think it's low-key kind of brilliant. 3-year deal, 2-team options. That's my offer for you, my friend. All right. Yeah, I guess this one makes it hard for me to spend $9 million on one reliever if I can get two for less. Is Josh Price a good lefty killer? He's very, very good against lefties. Then this is also something I'm pretty excited about. I'm not making the closer, bro. You're being redonkulous. These are older relievers, so this isn't a flawless strategy, but it isn't an expensive one that should significantly upgrade the bullpen. And I feel pretty good about that. Let's get ourselves a catcher now. Nobumasa Nakamoto is for $2 million. This is a steal. He's a reasonably good defensive catcher that has non-zero offensive skill. It's not a very high offensive skill, but it exists. And I don't think we're gonna do any better than this. So let's snap him up here. No. Guarantee major league contract for, let's call it 1 million. How does that grab you? And then, do you have any high potential catchers? Yes, let's grab Steven Klump here. Oh, I guess Steven's not a very good catcher, but he's fine. He's fine. Alright, so I've got 3 free agents that I feel reasonably good about. What are we talking about for outfielders? Um, I don't hate Oscar Navarro. I think even at 7.5 million though, he's a bit of a ripoff. Matt Washington isn't that exciting. Like I could get David Felix for free. Why wouldn't I just take David Felix, y'all? Make it make sense to me. You something with Estevan Romero? Sure. This is alright. Alright, this is a good start to free agency. We're rebuilding the bullpen, making it a little bit deeper and more effective. Making guys like Kevin Meredith and Jerry Delgado and Jaden Charles expendable in the very near future. A veteran starting pitcher wouldn't go amiss, actually, factually. Like, Garcia and Reyes are both going to be out for a bit longer. What do we have on the starting pitching market? Solis is a hard no. Antonio Aguirre, are we the team that's still in to see if he can actually stay healthy? Probably not. Steve Bursey thinks he's worth a lot of money. David Price is much more reasonable. Kiminobu Miura is actually kind of tempting. Kind of real tempting, actually. I guess the question is, whose spot would they take? So, right now, the rotation is going to be Ambrosio, Nick Gonzalez, Andrew Picar, and Adam Wiley. So I have one starting spot open. Probably to be filled by Eduardo Reyes. So I think actually a starter is not what we need. I think that's not smart. That is not clever. Who starts the year at second base? Is it Christensen? I think probably. I think it's probably going to be. Let's get Marrero and Christensen on the roster already. That's my starting place here. As of this is my infield lineup to start the season. I do get 27 players now. Keep that in mind. So that's going to be useful. Dan Hatcher is okay. I mean, he's not exciting, but he's okay. Yeah. It feels so like Jonathan Brandison is supposed to keep. Let's wait and see how free agency goes, though. I need to make sure that I've got room for all my free agent acquisitions. How are we doing, guys? I think this is because of Zapata, right? Didn't you play for me? No, it's not you. Is it? Okay, why is this deal being made to me? Did this guy used to play for me? Oh, he did used to play for me. He never made the major leagues with me. But I guess, okay, fine. Reasonable. We did get Steven Klump, thank God. That's the soft season saved. I feel like we're kind of waiting for the winter meeting to start seeing some people send us some messages here. He didn't get any better. Well, that's not surprising. I can still do a little bit more player development though, so I will. Let's get Rich Gunn some work. Let's let Rich Gunn here work on his movement. That seems like a smart idea. Now, if we are able to keep our money nice and cheap, I'm definitely going to invest in more player development this season. I need to see some of these people in the low minors become much more productive. Justin Crawford, I'll vote for. Vote for Juan Flores too, and I guess it's our old friend Atsuji Ito. I'll definitely vote for him, even if I don't think he's got a snowball's chance in hell. Fabian Lopez, sure. Jorvorsky Lane Jr., how could I not vote for him, I suppose? J Rod. This is honestly shocking to me that the man can't even get like 10% of the vote. He's worth 60 wins over the course of his career. That's not nothing. I'm not saying he's a first ballot Hall of Fame, but I'm saying it's not nothing either. Yoel Roque, I think, is very reasonable. I think it's a very reasonable vote. Adrian Santana, okay, I guess. Logan Webb, I'll carry that torch a little bit longer, even though I don't think it's going to work out. And then James Wood, fine. Fine. Submit. This is probably too much to code, but I would love for the Hall of Fame voting dynamics to be more dynamic. Like, oh, we're missing this position, or this kind of player tends to be coming out a lot more frequently. We better be recognizing them. Alex Garcia is going to be back in 7 weeks. That's pretty cool. That means he'll be well ready for spring training. All right, so we got Jay Horner. That's a pretty good start. I feel pretty good about that. Or wait, did I not get Jay Horner? Hang on. Because I can't open else because nobody in my DFA box. I think this is fine. I'm willing to give him a little bit more money. Because he has been so good for us in the past. He's somebody that I know that I can trust, which is something that I value pretty highly. And I think even a fairly small improvement is going to pay very large dividends when it comes to this bullpen. Oh, goodness, friends. All right, we got Josh Price, so that's pretty good. It's Juan Shoopman. Shoopy doop. Welcome to the team, Josh Price. Glad to have you here. Now, obviously, the guy's in his 30s. He could decline very rapidly, but I don't think that bothers me all that much. With 27 players, do I want to go more pitchers or more hitters? I think I want to go more hitters. I think 13 pitchers is enough, but I would love to get an extra infielder or outfielder or somebody who'd give me Manny Morales. I think I have my catching option ready. And I'm not going to par with Picar. Not unless I have something where I need to make room for him. Let's just very quickly say untouchable to this. I feel like Chris Gatzer is valuing Picard pretty poorly, even though I value performance, right? Jay Horner wants even more money. Jay Horner, I'm not going to invest a huge amount of money in you. I think $6 million is possibly okay. Nakamoto is genuinely great. Nakamoto instantly becomes my starting catcher and lets Harrington cook as a very reliable backup. This makes me pretty happy. Low-key, excellent upgrade. Very happy about this. A personal message. Yeah, it's fine. I don't care so much at this point. I've got to make room on the 40-man. This is true. Let me do Niley, Natal, and DeProse. Let me waive all three of you to make some room on the 40-man. Because I want to be active in the Rule 5 too. Bruh, this is it. This is where I'm at. 7 million is all you're getting. If you fight with me more, I will find somebody else. I'm not going to get involved in bidding more for a mediocre reliever. Damn, we got someone from Azerbaijan? That's fucking wild, guys. I am 100% certain we've never had an Azeri player in the major leagues. Is it Azeri or Azerbaijani? I think, let me see here. Is it Azeri or Azerbaijani? I see it is Azerbaijani is correct. So there you go. Okay. Yeah, I guess different places from a quick search on the internet say that some people from Azerbaijan find it offensive to say Azeri instead, which is fine. I'll try to say Azerbaijani. I don't think it's going to come up very often, but it could, I suppose. All players. And let's zip forward. Eric Rosenberg, low key, is somebody I'm pretty excited about. I think this is a correct choice. It's not the correct choice, it's a correct choice. Jose Garzon is also sort of interesting. Can I get them both? Probably not. Let me get Rosenberg first. I think Rosenberg is more likely to get a lot of people excited. I lost Matt DiNardo. I mean, it was bound to happen. He'd be an okay reliever, I suppose. Maybe I should have considered that. That's fine. Let's grab Garzone here. Eric Fricky, hard pass. John Moreno, not interested. George Stewart, meh. Especially when I'm taking in his contract too. I don't think so, guys. That seems pretty stupid to me. Arizona getting real active in the Rule 5. That's exciting. Yeah. This feels kind of okay. It feels like I will still take Jay Horner if he's willing to come here, but if he's going to keep fucking being a little bitch, then I will not bother with I'm not going to get into a bidding war for a pitcher that isn't a closer. That's just ridiculous, okay? Alright, how much more do you actually want? Get fucked. Maybe somebody else is going to give you the money that you want, and if that's the case, go for it, but I'm sure I can find a good reliever that's the same price and isn't a gigantic douchebag. Hey, look at that. It's Bo Kloiber. Much less expensive, almost as good a pitcher. You want 3 years, you can have 3 years. Let's fucking go. As I'm so fond of saying, Jay Horner, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Your prizes, you try to milk out as much money as you can. I respect it. But you know that we're a good organization. You know that we'll take care of you, so you should just fucking sign with me. I'm gonna laugh my butt off. Oh, the fans are bummed out that we lost Kenny Fisher. Who did he sign with? Toronto. Sure. Hall of Fame voting. Nobody made it. That's not unsurprising. I think Trey Turner and Corbin Burns are probably not Hall of Famers right now either. Um, so the fact that it to 10 years, I think, makes sense to me. Hey, Luke Geske. I remember him. I didn't even vote for him. Was he even all that good? He wasn't that good. I don't even know how he made the cut, to be honest with you. In case you didn't know, the Baseball Hall of Fame, like, because not every player that retires is even gonna appear on a ballot. So there is a certain amount of like pre-ballot weeding out, so to speak. We got Kloiber, perfect. Kloiber is just about as good as what's his face, but he's also cheaper and younger, and that's a great combination, right? Danny Moore went to Memphis where he got 9.1 million. He basically got what he wanted. So I don't begrudge him that, but it was never going to be me. I was never going to pay him that much money and also let him be the closer. Let's dip our toes into international free agency. Let's get ourselves a quality amateur. We have 5.2 million, so we could definitely get outbid pretty easily. It's Michael Rodriguez. Eh. I don't hate this, but I'm not necessarily overwhelmed by it either. Ramon Toledo is pretty smart, pretty hardworking, but also strikes out a lot. I do want to get some catching talent into the system, but you're not a catcher. You're sort of a catcher, but also very, very weird. You're not a catcher. Okay. Are there like second tier catchers I can get a little bit more excited about? No. Maybe. I feel like Juan Romero is simplistic enough that I could maybe get two people question mark. All right, let's try 1.5 million. This is a 3.7 million to spend on someone else. Willie Vasquez is okay. You not so much. You definitely not. I'm going to offer you 1.5 million as well. And then I'm going to give 2.2 million to like a really good hitter that's like just under this top level. Yeah, what if I gave you 2.2 million? Oh, you want 3 million? I can't give you 3 million. Sorry, mate. Franklin Ortiz is a good hitter, but can't really play the field. I mean, the world needs DHs too, right? Angel Rivera is interesting. Let's grab Ortiz just because I think he's more likely to take less money. And let's see how this works out. Let's see if getting three like medium tier prospects is enough is useful to me because I was never going to be able to compete for the top tier players, right? That just wasn't going to happen. I want to wait until after the signings happen so I can decide if how much I need to invest in my other stuff. Jay Horner got $7.5 million a year from Washington. You know what? All I can say is fuck you, Jay Horner. That's all I can say. I'm gonna sim. Okay, Franklin Ortiz wants more money. That doesn't surprise me. Like that doesn't surprise me that I'm getting outbid for him. Are there other quality players that might be willing to join us here? Miguel Nieves is not a catcher and is a little too limited for me. Rich Orozco, he's pretty good. Yeah, let's see Rich Orozco. Why the hell not? I'll give you $2.2 million, okay? That's my bargain for you. What a deal. What a deal. You're frustrated. You know what frustrates me? That you're a bitch and that you can't figure it out. Oh, Roscoe, you have not worked hard for any organization yet. You're a fucking kid. You've played in 0 organizations, my dude. I mean, I could just, like, triple up on the catchers, right? I could just grab all the catchers that have ever catchered. I don't hate that idea. Let's get Jorge Galaz instead. He's a bit more well-rounded. I'll give you 2.2. Honestly, at this point, if he doesn't take it, I'm probably just out. I don't think I'm particularly interested in constantly fighting for these mediocre prospects. Reaching end of the month, which is pretty good. Now's a good time to evaluate how much money I can put into player development. And he signed. Amazing. Josh Price losing velocity is hilarious. It's rude as heck. Alex Gonzalez is getting better. Terry Maton is getting slightly better. Flavor is slightly worse. Okay, fine. Evan Hernandez is improving his contact. I'm into that. Alright, so we have locked up all the money that we're going to spend. Player development. I'm just going to put in 50 million because I know that's too much. Okay, that's too much money. Alright, fine. 40 million. Okay, 35 million is apparently as much as I can give. Really? So I still have 4 million left. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I very, very much want to pour money into player development, so this is reasonable to me. And then we can always like find new homes for people if we need to make some additional money. But I think this is correct. Spring training begins. Let's go. Jeff Allen can join us in spring training. Josh Cox definitely gets to do it. David Felix and Devon Romero can both join us. Very reasonable indeed. Alex Alvarado has been pretty good. I think he has earned himself a chance. Like he's not going to make he's not going to make the major league roster. That's not going to happen. But what could happen? What potentially could happen is that he gets some attention and some scouting in. I'm pretty good with that. Jimmy Bridges is going to get some work in the majors, as is Carl Moody. How good did Al Caballero do? Al Caballero has not even played in the major leagues. He has not even played professional baseball yet, so maybe let's hold off on him. Let's get Hancock and Viggo Mortensen here. Murkia, DePros, and Espinosa. And Bond. John Bond. John Bond Jovi? Question mark? Only Ambrosio, Gonzalez, Picard, Garcia, and Reyes. That's fine. Do all the things all the time, please. Danny Rios being the leadoff hitter is fucking hilarious to me. This is about what I expected here. Oh, interesting. We put Barry back at second base. Let Carlos Geronimo get some experience at shortstop. Not opposed to that. I think that's a very smart use of our resources for the spring training season. Definitely. Let him get some experience. Let him try it out. See how his life feels with the some shortstopping. We got some improvement, which is pretty exciting. Holy shit! His current gap has improved by 20. All right. I think Brian Bittner is going to get some genuine work in this Major League season. Um, 27 players should not be slept on, by the way. One additional roster spot is going to mean more money, but it is also going to mean more opportunities, which I feel pretty good about. I can platoon more if such things seem important to me. I can platoon more. Um, yeah. Player development. Ray Hughes improved at everything but control, which isn't great. It's not ideal. Not the best. Ambrose Chilo's getting better, which is pretty exciting. I think he's got a realistic chance to be a shortstop, which is something I didn't think about for a long time, but I think he definitely has that skill. I think he could definitely be a reasonably good shortstop if given the opportunity. 100%. I probably need to remove some more players, huh? You know what? I have so many people in the minor leagues, guys. So fucking many. All players. Potential. Is less than 35. If your potential isn't even 35, I don't want you on my team. You're wasting spots. 88 players cut. There we go. Now what does our minor league system look like now? Does it look like it's more reasonable? Yeah, it does. Okay. This is far, far better. Because one thing that impacts your prospects negatively is not getting playing time. So I think it's very, very appropriate to release people if you don't have room for them. It's only a week, dude. Just like stop. Stop and Z Vining. We were controversial skipping breakfast today because we're going to a holiday concert this afternoon, which I'm pretty excited about. Local orchestra as brass section is doing some stuff that I'm pretty pumped about. All right, 53 players, way too many. We currently have 28 pitchers. That's an excessive number of pitchers. All right. Allen Alvarado to the minors. Bridges definitely to the minors. Hancock to the minors. Harrison to the minors. Hughes, Lee. Moody, Ponce, Vigo Suarez. All right. How many pitchers do I have now? I have 18, so I gotta do 5 more pitchers. Oh my. All right. Goodbye to Mr. Bond. I think getting Griswold through waivers is not going to be difficult, so we're going to try it. Question mark. Rich Gunn can go to the minors. 1 to 2 pitchers got to go. Alcala can go to the minors. It feels like this is either Jaden Charles or Jerry Delgado moving on. And I think Jerry Delgado had a pretty poor season last year. I love what you've done for this team, but if I can trade you, I will. Just because Jaden Charles is a White Sox legend, I don't want to. It's coming down to nostalgia. I get it. I know that Mr. Charles hasn't done a whole lot for us. He actually had a really good year last year, though. Um, I think making him into a very effective reliever is a great way to like end his career with the White Sox. I think we just tell Mr. Delgado goodbye. If I eat his $5 million salary, does anybody want to give me a prospect for him? Probably not. I can get a prospect. I can get Jerry Castillo. Jerry Castillo isn't the best, if I'm honest with you. Let's see if I can start like reducing the amount that I give you. I'm not gonna fight with this. I don't think I want him. I guess take a look at regulars and veterans. Maybe I could upgrade somewhere else. Maybe I shouldn't be so hasty. Castillo's not very exciting. I don't need a third catcher. I just don't. Rich Snyder doesn't interest me at all. Oh, you've got option years left? I will possibly add Mr. Taniguchi here. Let's do it. Do they just really want Jerry Delgado? Okay, you know what? This is fine. We acquire Taniguchi. I guess he gets a 40-man spot and then instantly goes to the minors. So this is your opening day pitching staff. We're going to go to 5-man, and you're going to be emergency starter. Long relief. Done. Now, Josh Price is pretty great against left-handed pitching. What about Jaden Charles? Jaden Charles is about the same against either, so this is fine for me. We want Bo Kloiber to be the closer, and I gotta say it's Chance Livingston. Like, until such time as Livingston is completely doomed, I am not going to... I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take closer away from Livingston, who's been so good for us for so long. Right? He means more to me personally. I think Kloiber is a perfectly acceptable reliever. I just don't that he's my closer. I will very happily take a correction if it turns out that I am mistaken, though. Espinosa, you were never going to make the roster. I'm sorry that I fooled you. Same with Murguia here. Same with DeProse. DeProse does not have to be. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, Sony claims DeProse, then I'll pull him back, I suppose. Alright. Chilo to the minors. Madrid to the minors. Ramirez to the minors. Felix to the minors. Romero to the minors. Cox to the minors. 2 more players, gotta go, understood. Hatcher to the minors, question mark? Bobby Pena can, like, stumble around in center field, so sure. Alright, 1 infielder's gotta go. Is there any reason at all that it shouldn't be Christensen? The thing is that Escott is really good at 3 positions and has good speed and has okay offense. Christensen has a lot of upside offensively, but he's also 25 years old and isn't really doing anything with it. I could demote Justin Rice, but then I have no captains at all. And I feel like I need Justin Rice for that purpose. Apparently, Micah Christensen is unmotivated. I guess we can trade him. I want to get a reasonably good prospect package if I do trade him. So let's look at that here. I expect 1 green at a minimum. Glenn Edmonds is actually really good. I wish he'd improve his control, but this is still quite good. Chris Van Deaver is acceptable. Austin Dyson is thoroughly acceptable. Let's do it. I do think Christensen has a fair bit of potential. I truly believe that that's the case. But he was never going to reach that potential on my club. His problem is that I added on so many additional players. This makes the Fosco Cardio trade. No, Eduardo Reyes is still around and kicking, so the trade isn't a complete bust. Yeah. This was the correct choice. This was the correct choice. So I guess we're gonna go. If I compare you two defensively, who's actually the better shortstop these days? All I care about right now is defense, either way. Like, offense is fine. I care about defense at the moment. Herb Berry is marginally better at turning double plays, which makes him a better candidate to be a second baseman, I suppose. It could also be Alex Madrid, who is it could also be Alex Madrid, who's genuinely a really good shortstop, but he's already back in the minors. Let's get the lineup set first. Clear them all. Clear all of the depth charts. I'd like there to be no charts of depthness, please. All right. So the heart of the order is always going to be Hernandez, Rios, and Pena. I feel pretty strongly that these positions are already set. You're going to play DH, and Pena's going to play left. All right, so this is the core of the roster. Hernandez, Rios, and Pena. Herb Berry definitely hits second. I think that's the right choice here. And I think it's Brian Bittner leading off. It's not my favorite choice here. I guess it could be Chris Hernandez, potentially. Actually, I like Chris Hernandez better as a leadoff guy. But then again, his on-base percentage hasn't been great the last 2 seasons. Does Hernandez has okay speed? I want it to be Bittner, because Bittner is very fast and has a very good batting eye. But maybe that's too much from Bittner too soon. Maybe that's unfair to him. Where does Bittner even play right now? That's a good question. So I need right field. That's presumably Chris Hernandez. Although, to be honest, Chris Hernandez, I'm kind of not into you anymore. What if Bittner played right field? What if we did that this season? Bittner's a switch hitter, and he's pretty good against either bat. He's slightly better against right-handed pitching, but the more I think about it, though, I feel like we had to let Hernandez try to rebuild his value. So then the question becomes, is Hernandez lead off? It's not going to be Rosenberg. Rosenberg is most definitely going to be a bench bat. Vasquez is certainly not capable of leading off, given that the man barely ever makes contact. He can bat ninth. I'm going to let Carlos Geronimo, I'm going to let him bat eighth. Let him build up his skills, and then we're going to let Nakamoto here bat seventh and catch. Oh, wait a minute. This makes Marrero our sixth hitter. How do I feel about that? I think I feel okay about it. So then I guess I'll convince that Chris Hernandez ought to be our leadoff hitter. I don't feel great about it, but I don't feel bad about it either. You know? I'm not saying that I dislike Rosenberg, but I am saying that I don't want him playing over Pena unless Pena proves he can't handle the job. Because I need me some Thump in this lineup. So Thump I shall have. I don't think Harrington should play every 3 games. I think that's too much. So here we go for this. This is fun. Bittner's going to get a lot of attention. He's not going to get to start, which may be problematic. But it's fine. Does Bobby Pena have a hole in his swing against left-handed pitching? He does not. He's equally good against either. Let's copy and paste this over. One thing I definitely want to do is I definitely want to get Hernandez out of the lineup against lefties. If I remember right, he struggles very badly against them. Yeah, he's basically a useless player against lefties. This could be Bittner's chance to shine. Because Bittner is roughly as good either way. Letting him play against left-handed pitching is useful, although he's not as good at getting on base. Rosenberg is also a lefty. I guess it's Bittner, though. I guess it's fine. Question mark. Fine. We're gonna copy and paste our lineup into this one here. Here it doesn't matter though because Danny Rios is gonna play left field, so Chris Hernandez can just go away. And then I guess I just give everybody up. I think that's reasonable. There's a very large amount riding on Mr. Marrero's ability to be a third baseman here, which I guess I hadn't considered until right now. You are not playing over Pena. Basically, Pena's going to play unless he proves that he shouldn't. That's how I feel about Pena right now. And I think it's the correct option as well. I don't think there's a ton of value in not trusting Pena, who offers us elite power. Unless it becomes something like, oh, Pena isn't able to handle the job. But I think he can. But he is going to be very, very dangerous in the sense that it's going to be difficult to predict how well he's actually going to do. Very difficult indeed. So yeah. But he's at least earned enough attention for me to get a second shot at it. And that's why I'm going to leave him on the Major League roster for the moment. Yeah. This is fine. Alright. This is your opening day lineup. It's we've made quite a few changes in this offseason. This has been a very busy offseason. And I think a good offseason. I think this was the correct decision to make. I want to make one manual change to league, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, so there's no fucking point in expanding by one player. I'm just going to change it to 29 players. That's my one change here, because it's like, wow, you get one more roster spot. The fuck does that matter? You know what? Let's make it 30. That feels good. That's still a good amount of rosters to be expanded. I'm into it. Makes it a bit more meaningful. Chicago's Pujols diagnosis revealed. Oh no. What's wrong with Albert? You didn't get any better, Rich Gun. Whatevs. Hey, Alex Alvarado's your number 9 prospect. how are we doing as a minor league system? We're getting quite a bit better, actually. We just want to keep investing in it. This is something we really fell by the wayside on because we spent so much money on guys like Maini that we really hurt ourselves in the long run. So now it's our chance to start building up that depth again, start making the most out of our team. Go ahead and set this up any way you like, my friend. There we go. Cool. Nice. Very nice. This is the first time in a long time that I think I've actually kept 2 Rule 5 players, but they're both filling very useful roles for me. So what has changed about this team? Quite a lot, actually. These 4 were in the lineup last year, as was Vasquez, and then we have 4 basically new starters. Pena was our starter for most of last year, so he is a returning veteran, but he is still not a super experienced guy. But we have Marrero, we have Geronimo, we have Nakamoto, all of whom are rookies, all of whom are looking to prove that they belong in the majors. Of the new people, the person with the most on his shoulders right now is Marrero. And I think he's up to the task. I think a Marrero that can improve his power greatly improves my flexibility in this roster. If he can be the hitter that we need him to be, I think we're going to find ourselves with a much easier time filling out the rest of the roster. So very excited to see what's next for Marrero. Rotation is basically last year's. This is the same. The bullpen has changed substantially. Garzon, Price, and Kleber are all new additions to the roster here. All of whom offer us some pretty substantial benefits over last year's bullpen. I think for not a lot of money, we made some great improvements. Not this, which is Nakamoto. Now, Nakamoto's big issue is going to be his offensive profile. If he's hitting 280, 290, he'll have enough secondary skills that he'll be okay. However, if he doesn't hit that well, then it becomes a challenge to keep him around. But it's at just $1 million. This is a risk well worth taking. Well worth taking. I want this to be Brian Bittner's team. I can't bring myself to bench Chris Hernandez yet, but I do think that day is coming, and I think the day is coming sooner than anybody expects. I'm stuck with him for 2 seasons, either way, but I can always trade him next year, or even this year at the deadline. Like, if Hernandez isn't cutting it, I'm not going to keep him around to be overpaid. It's not a drastic overpay. It's basically... Okay, let's go to the most expensive version of players, right? Which is where one more is one more is worth $8 million, right? Yeah, you want WAR to be worth less if you want things to be more expensive. That's correct, yeah. So if it's one WAR per $8 million, he'd have to basically be about 1.5 wins. So he's not super far off of that. If you think a WAR is worth 10 million, then he's right about the exact correct level. But I think it's unreasonable to expect a guy in his 20s to maybe take some improvements from 2 seasons ago. Maybe hit the ball a little bit better. Don't underestimate how much is relying on Geronimo, too, though. I think he's a perfectly fine shortstop. I think he's going to be a good asset. But he is new to the position for the major leagues. He's also just a rookie. There's every possibility of him becoming a very, very reliable shortstop. He's not quite as good as Herb Berry, but he's like 90% of Herb Berry. And that makes me very excited. It makes me very excited indeed to see how the two of them can work together. But I think Marrero, the pressure is on him at this point. But I think he can handle it. I think as long as he plays strong defense and is a competent hitter, I think he's definitely going to stick around. And he has nothing left to learn in AAA. So, this is a very deep bench. We probably have. I mean, we have three outfielders on the bench right now. We have two outfielders on the bench right now, and Bittner and Rosenberg, and they bring something different to the table, right? Like Bittner is a classic leadoff guy in a lot of ways, which makes me pretty happy about his capabilities here. Rosenberg is more of a thumper. But unlike some of my other thumpers, Mr. Rosenberg here actually is pretty good at not striking out. So there is very, very clearly a path to greatness for Mr. Rosenberg if Pena washes out. I guess there's also a huge amount of pressure on Pena too, right? Like Pena is at the level where his margin for error isn't great because he still has lots of value coming off of the bench. Am I talking myself into playing Bittner over Pena or even Rosenberg over Pena? I might be. Rosenberg's a better outfielder. He's a more well-rounded hitter. He doesn't have the strikeout issues that Pena is always going to have. But Pena has major league production. And that can't be ignored. That can't be ignored. Right? Right. Yeah, I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that Pena has the major league production. But Rosenberg could have the major league production. His honest problem is he never got regular playing time before. I guess his numbers aren't that great. Maybe he hasn't been that great for a reason. Maybe I should just trust the guy I know for at least for the moment. And then see what we can accomplish with other things later on. Yeah. I wish I didn't have Chris Hernandez. Is there any market for him whatsoever? Just for funsies, if I put him on the market, no, nobody wants him. He's too expensive, I get it. So I'm not going to get a good prospect. Maybe I will get an okay prospect. Maybe there is some attraction there. Nope, nobody wants him. That's reasonable. Yeah, I'm not going to trade him. We're just going to roll with this to start the season, and then as the season develops, as players improve, then we can make some decisions here. This was a very busy offseason. Very, very busy. P-Car's already getting worse. That's gross. It's fine, but it's gross. Maybe don't get worse, please. We do need a younger starting pitching staff. Thankfully, Alex Gonzalez is young and really good because he helps get us to the next generation of starters. I have other starters in the minor leagues that are ready for an opportunity, but they need to work their way up to that opportunity. Look, a guy like an Al Caballero is really special. Alex Alvarado and Jeff Allen are both really good. These are excellent pitchers, but they're also pretty far away from the majors. So we're going to want to keep a close eye on them, let them develop, and then go from there. Alex Garcia is probably done after this season, as long as if any starting pitcher in the minors makes significant progress, he's done. Which is what the team option is for. That's why it's on. Adam Wiley is pretty effective. I want to see him keep doing well. Alex Gonzalez insisting he needs a pitch count. That's fair. That's pretty fair. If we made the postseason, do I like this rotation to do well? Maybe. It's so hard to say right now because Gonzalez is so young. Ambroso's coming off of a pretty traumatic injury. Wiley's good. Gonzalez has a lot to live up to, but is also quite good. So, I don't know. What I do know as that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Your viewership's always appreciated. I hope you are having a wonderful day and should continue to have one. And until next time, this has been Guardian, and I bid you good day.